So on the 3rd of May, I boarded P&O's Iona at Southampton. I had cabin 235 on the 14th deck. As you can see, it was a very comfortable cabin with a double bed and sofa, as well as a desk, a balcony, which was a delight, and obviously an ensuite bathroom. I was amazed at how spacious the bathroom felt, given that it was a very small room. It was very well designed. So going to take you out onto the balcony now, and let's have a look at Southampton Dock. So as you can see, the balcony was a reasonable size with 2 chairs, which were both reclining chairs, and a coffee table. So it's Saturday the 3rd of May and it's about 4 p.m. The cabin was on the starboard side of the ship, in the forwards section. So then I went up on deck to have a bit of a walk around the prom and also deck 16 and 17. Visited the sail away party for about 1 minute, and then decided to find somewhere quieter. So we left Ocean Terminal and Southampton Docks behind and headed into the Solent, and then later in the evening into the English Channel. There was quite often different live entertainment going on in the atrium. The atrium is 3 floors of coffee shops and bars with, as you can see, huge windows looking out to the sea and lots of places for people to sit. And as you can also probably tell, the atrium is incredibly noisy. So apart from checking out what entertainment was happening as I walked through from forward to aft or aft to forward, I tended not to stop more than a few minutes. I did think all the entertainment was very good quality, even if I didn't particularly want to stay and listen to it. They certainly put on a good show, P&O. So Iona has an art gallery with pictures for sale, as well as several shops which I haven't videoed. But you can get souvenirs, you can get jewellery. There's about 3 watch shops and perfume and alcohol, that kind of thing. Nice to have an after dinner stroll around the prom deck. So the Sky's the Limit was about a 50-minute show. They did some good songs and dances. It was very clever having an aeroplane and even a taxi on the stage, given this is on a ship and not in the West End. And really loved the digital scenery that they had. And the show performers were, of course, excellent. Good morning from the Iona Infinity Pool. I just loved being at sea, listening to it, and having nothing but sea for miles. So at each staircase, of which there were 3, we had these artworks: red for aft, this grey-white set for midships, and blue for forward. And with each set of stairs were 8 lifts. So you could work out where you were by what coloured artwork you could see. I didn't get lost on the ship, but regularly found I was going to the wrong side, or aft when I should have been going forward, or up when I should have been going down, but I soon sorted myself out. On the outward sea day, I went to a lecture by a retired policeman. He was talking about Death in Ice Valley, which was a podcast about 7 years ago, about a murder that's never been solved in Norway. And on the return trip, he talked about another unsolved murder in Norway, and he thinks the two are linked and gave some quite compelling evidence. It's quite interesting stuff. I spent a lot of the sea days on my balcony. The biggest waves we had was apparently 4 metres, so not that big, but it was enough that they put the stabilisers on. On the way back, it was a total mill pond. To get to the aft decking area quite often meant walking through the buffet, and I have to say I thought the cakes and desserts always looked so pretty. now heading out to the Sky Dome and towards the aft of the ship. The Sky Dome is an indoor swimming pool and also an entertainment venue. There's cafes and bars around it as well. Rise was a bit bonkers as a show, however some very clever trapeze work and also gymnastics, so entertaining in its own way. So sporting some evening wear, as this is a personal record. Walking through the casino now to get back to the Headliners Theatre for the next production, which was Festival, which I have to say I loved, and if I could have watched it twice I would. They did cover versions of lots of modern songs. It was great. Watch how the scenery colours are changing. There was a very funny and clever piece of choreography, which was tap dancing in the campsite loos, which were represented by these green doors. Very clever. Scrubs up okay, even if I do say so myself. So I went to the main dining rooms for dinner. I actually went in the Coral restaurant every evening. So here's a collection of 3 starters, 3 mains and 3 desserts to give you an idea of the main dining room food, which was very good. There was a reasonable selection on the menu each evening, so usually something for everyone. There were 4 main dining rooms, all serving the same food, I believe. Apart from the main dining rooms, there's also the Horizon Buffet, the Keys, which has fish and chips, an American diner and an Asian section, and there are other restaurants and cafes around the ship. After my first dinner, where I was served by these 2 lovely waiters, so Sajit from Goa on the left and Lin from Myanmar on the right, I tried to get on their tables every night and managed it 6 nights out of 7. They were great fun. The official P&O photo of yours truly. My first 2 mornings I had breakfast in a main dining room, but it took ages just to get a couple of gluten-free croissants, so I soon learnt that the most efficient way was having room service. Unless you want a cook breakfast, then room service is definitely the way to go. There's lots of information available on the TV if you go to the right channel. What amazed me was there were 5,502 passengers on board, and yet it never felt that there were that many people. There were always chairs to sit. I'd really like to know how many chairs there are on board per person. One of my brief interludes away from the balcony where I would take a spin around the deck for some exercise. The slightly odd part of the prom as you go past the atrium, because it's out extended away from the main part of the ship. Most things get moved around the ship in a way that we don't see them as passengers. This gentleman is taking out fresh towels to the swimming pool and whirlpool areas. It's really warm, and as you can see, there's still loads of chairs available to sit pretty much anywhere. Just walking past one of the infinity whirlpools. Eventually walked around the bow, but it was incredibly windy. I think it's 2.5 laps of the prom for a mile. So back to my favourite spot on the balcony. Who knew it would be warm enough for sunbathing in the middle of the North Sea on the 9th of May? And the final evening on board blessed us with a wonderful sunset. So the east coast of England was clearly visible before nightfall. And this is sunrise on the 10th of May as we sail into Southampton and sadly have to disembark for the final time. Would I go on another cruise on P&O Iona? Yes, I would, in a flash. Before disembarking, one final breakfast. So thank you for watching, and if you would like to see the videos of the individual port days, please do subscribe to the channel.